What was ruined for everyone by one single person? My primary school used to do relatively frequent trips to a local zoo, until one boy decided to vault the fence and punch a penguin. I wish I was joking. I'm a contractor and I work in different kinds of plants and mills. In one mill I worked at, we had a gravy job, 2 hours of easy work, and get paid for 12 hours. Well, one guy decided he was going to charge them for 16, and now we get 2 hours for the job. The elementary school I went to let 6th graders go on an overnight trip to a lodge where we could go skiing and snow tubing. My dad volunteered as a parent and was supervising by letting me and 5 other girls pile on top of one tube down a steep hill, and we all went flying. 2 of the girls busted their arms when we all landed in a pile. It looked like a cartoon. Anyway, after that, no more sleepovers at the lodge, and tale has it 30 years later everyone at the school still blames my dad, lol. At a previous job, we got full uniforms. Shirts, pants, hats, hoodies, winter coveralls, winter coats, gloves. But we don't get shoes or boots. Turns out a couple of years before I was hired on, they used to give boots. But one guy would take his boots and sell them, then request a replacement, then sell those. He did this about 20 times before anybody caught on because of municipal bureaucracy being slow to notice. When they caught on, they stopped giving out boots to their employees. Edit, I worked as a park maintenance groundskeeper for Parks and Recreation. Edit, no, it is not like the show. The person who apparently choked on a lollipop at my bank, and now we don't get lollipops anymore. Other firefighters constantly ruin any sort of appreciation restaurants give out. We had a barbecue restaurant that would give a flat $10 off your meal. If you didn't spend $10, it was basically free. One guy ruined it on an $8 order by demanded the $2 be given to him as well. Had people going in uniform on days they didn't work. Had one guy have a family reunion at a local restaurant, then made a big issue they wouldn't give his entire party the discount. I don't understand how out of touch people can be. Back around the mid-2000s, I was around 10 years old, and I used to go to this place after school called the Boys and Girls Club. They had an area with multiple basketball hoops on a court which we used to play all kinds of games in, one of those games being dodgeball. These were not those big rubber balls, but instead the styrofoam-filled balls with kind of a thin layer of plastic, so otherwise, harmless. One of the kids thought it would be a good idea to shove a rock into one of the balls and throw it at someone he didn't like. Well, he ended up throwing it right into that kid's face and broke 2 of his front teeth. We never played dodgeball again. Previous job I had used to be hybrid twice a week. One person, on their hybrid day, decided to slack off work and go out. They got a call from their manager because they were late for a virtual meeting, and the manager heard a lot of background noise like they were at the mall or something. Said person eventually admitted they were not home working, got fired, and now everyone had to be in the office 5 days a week. The guy who killed the most isolated tree on Earth. Same with that woman who burned down the oldest tree. Imagine the history the trees lived through. The guy who attempted to smuggle a bomb in his shoe in 2001, now we all have to suffer taking our shoes off at airport security every damn time we fly. Had a job where as a dialysis nurse where we added a position to pick up add-ons and emergency cases that came in later in the day. In this role, we worked noon to midnight, which helped us cut down from needing a nurse on call every night to maybe once or twice a week. Whoever took this role didn't have to take call and had weekends off. We loved rotating through this role and enjoyed taking a break from having to be on call and enjoyed having weekends off. Then there came the nurse who went out at 7 a.m. instead of noon and finished at 5 p.m. When there was an add-on or an emergency case, she wouldn't answer her phone, which meant everyone had to go back to picking up extra patients and being on call again. She did this every time it was her turn to go through the rotation, so they eliminated the position and we went back to having to be on call all the time. The name Adolf has gotta be up there. At one of my previous workplaces, management played music as a way of promoting good mood. They played all sorts of genres so everyone got a chance to listen to something they liked. One person complained that sometimes they had to listen to music they didn't like, so they stopped playing music altogether. I worked at an office that had casual Fridays. One day a lady came to work on casual Friday in her gym clothes, and management was uptight and appalled by it. Instead of telling her that she couldn't wear gym clothes to work, they abolished casual Friday for everyone. It pisses me off to this day. That influencer who jumped into the alligator habitat at Busch Gardens, now there's a big chain link fence and you can't see the alligators anymore. Whoever decided to add YouTube Kids on YouTube, now everything is demonetizable. In the 80s we had this game called British Bulldog. It was fun and a laugh for all involved. Then Barry had to clothesline a skinny kid and collapsed his windpipe, and all of a sudden Bulldog got banned and we couldn't choke each other out anymore. Thanks Barry. The guy in Texas, I think, who ordered a huge meal for his last meal on death row and refused to eat it. They no longer offer a last meal request because of him. Remember that stupid woman that held up a sign in front of the Tour de France riders? That stupid baseball player that took like 10 ephedra and died of a heart attack. My mom and I used to take one and clean the whole house. Why can't people be responsible with their drugs? The toothbrush mustache. The religious fruitcake mother who said that Halloween was satanic, so that ended the kindergarten costume parade. The Tylenol poisoner, I figure he's directly responsible for the ridiculous amount of overpackaging in OTC drugs, vitamins, etc. Plastic lid wrap seal, cap, sealed bottle, cotton, all inside another box or, shutter, clamshell package. What a jerk. The guy who claimed vaccines caused autism has some serious blood on his hands. Airport security. I remember waiting for my mom to come off a plane at the gate. That one dumb kid fell in the gorilla.